Welcome to the Assembly. This week we're looking at a topic that is close to my heart, one that I'm not going to give away too much because that's going to ruin the Do Now activity. But I want you to take a look just before we get started at some images on the board. We've got some quite famous faces in the international community, some just in our local community. What do you think they have in common? We've got Harry Kane, Greta Thunberg, Jacinda Ardern, who, if you don't know, is the leader of New Zealand. We have Martin Luther King Jr. and, of course, Ms Hillman. I'm going to give you some time to have a think. And when your form tutor says it's appropriate, I would like you to share what you think they have in common. Now, I'm hopeful that a few of you were able to get to this answer. They are all leaders. They're leaders in their community. And we would like to see how we might be able to learn from these leaders, both outside our school and inside our school, to put that into our own day-to-day life. Because my question for you this week is, how do I become a leader? In my role at the moment, I lead the ambassador team and I ensure that we have pupil leadership at all levels, and that's expanding this term. So it means that more of you are going to have an opportunity to become a leader. And I hope that at the end of this assembly, there might be more of you thinking that you want to get involved. There's a quote on the board that I want you to have a read of. It's by Warren Bennis. He's an author and he's a theorist, and he has written quite a lot on leadership. And he says that leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. So that's being pragmatic. It's just not sitting around and dreaming. It's moving forward and being determined and committed to seeing that succeed. I want you to think how you might be able to, during your time at Heathcote, translate your dreams and your visions into reality and into existence. Before we move any further, we need to understand what is leadership. So I'm going to get you all to have a think for 15 seconds. Look at those individuals on the board. They're all leaders in their role. Based on that, can you come up with a definition for leadership? We're kind of pushing yourself even further. What makes a good leader? When your form tutor thinks it's an appropriate time, they're going to take some answers from you, and I'd like you to come up with, as a class, as a form group, a definition and some qualities of what it is for a good leader. And you've got 15 seconds to do that. Now, the definition that's given by the dictionary is the action of leading a group of people or an organisation. Now, that's pretty vague. Anyone can lead a group of people. It doesn't mean they're doing it particularly well. So what were some of the ideas that you came up with as what makes a good leader? Personally, I'd say something that would be hardworking, a visionary, creative. Those are the sort of qualities that I would look for in a good leader. Perhaps you have more. If we know that leaders are leading a group of people or an organisation, they're moving them forward, what does that look like in our school when they're leading Heathcote, our community? I've got some examples on the board of what, in my humble opinion, are outstanding leaders in our school community. Now, please don't take it personally if you are not included in this board. There's, it's limited. I think there are many, many more examples of outstanding leaders. But at all points, I can safely say that they are good leaders. What makes them a good leader? Can you take some time now, maybe talk to your learning partner, maybe just have a think by yourself? What about them and their role makes them a good leader? When your form tutor says it's appropriate, start sharing some ideas. Maybe put them up on the board. Try and get down to that nitty-gritty of what are those qualities of leadership. As John Maxwell, another theorist and author, and someone who's written extensively on leadership, says, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Now, the first quality that I kind of picked out when thinking about that outstanding leaders in our schools is that they're confident. They're confident in the work that they do and they believe in it. And that's what true leaders are. They feel confident about the work that they are doing. And they have the drive to see it through. They don't just give up halfway. They are committed to that project. And they have the courage and they are brave. They take risks to make sure that they can get that end result. And they're determined. They're hardworking. they are committed, they are trustworthy, and they are creative. Now, you might have picked out some different qualities in your discussions as a class, but what I want you to think of is why do we need these qualities in a leader? Why is trust so important? Think about maybe someone that you've known in your life. It could be a member of your family, a friend. It could be an old teacher. If you didn't trust them, why could they not be a leader? Have a discussion now in your form groups about why we need those qualities. If we didn't have them, would they be able to lead at all? Whilst you're doing that, you might even begin to reflect, when do you show these qualities? Is it in your drama lessons? Is it when you're in your football club? Is it when you're an ambassador? Is it just being a big sister or being a good friend? Leadership comes in all shapes and sizes, and I want you to reflect on when you are a leader in the school. Once that conversation as a class is finished, I want you to begin to think about our own pupil leadership program. How does it look like in our school? Now, it might be that you're not entirely sure how it looks. Well, we have twofold. We have the ambassador program, which I lead, which has the head pupil team at the top. There are 6 head pupils, and they are a superb, hardworking and committed team. And they lead our weekly meetings. They are on the ground and they're listening to your ideas. They are our top level of pupil leadership. We then have our school ambassadors that meet with me every single week, and they give your feedback from the classroom directly to me, Ms Hillman, and the rest of the senior leadership team. And they really feel they will have an impact and a difference, not only in the school community, but in the wider community. In this term alone, they raised over £1,200 for charity. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. We have our mental health ambassadors that were just appointed at the end of last term, and our sports ambassadors who've been working closely with Mr. French and the PE team. Now, we've got about over 70 ambassadors right there, and we're expanding even further. It might be that you want to get involved with that. And if you think you have those qualities, and if in your reflection, you think, actually, I've got what it takes, I really want you to consider strongly the application process that's going to be opening up later on this month. Beyond that, we've got our wider school, in your school clubs, just your teamwork in class, your collaboration with friends, and by example. You're all leaders. If you're ready, respectful and responsible, you are a leader. In your day-to-day learning, you can be a leader. Now, how can you take this and put it into action? I would take some time to think about what has been discussed in the assembly today. How could you show leadership qualities at Heathcote School? What could you do next? Take that vision into a reality. I want you to take some time to think. And when your form tutor thinks that you're ready, start sharing your answers as a class. Maybe put them on the board. The week beginning the 24th of January, we're going to launch the next stage of the Pupil Ambassador Programme. We're going to be launching anti-bullying ambassadors, department ambassadors, and hopefully peer mentoring. Now, if you think you've got what it takes, I'll have an assembly. I'll show you the application and you can get involved. You can come find me whenever for some more information. So thank you for listening to the assembly this week. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to get in contact with me or the head pupil team or your school ambassadors. And please keep sharing your feedback with them. It's really, really important that we keep that dialogue going. I hope to see lots of you with your applications coming through at the end of this month. And I look forward to working with lots more of you. Thank you so much.